and welcome to Big Talk with Bruce Dickey here on Wabash Catch TV. Thank you so much for joining today. Look who's here. State Senator Terri Bryant has joined the show. We're in that camera.
All right,
now.
I'm going to look right there.
You barely see the little red
Yes,
lights.
I can.
Terrible.
Thank you.
I feel terrible. I
feel a little like Barney Fife not knowing which one, but now that I know the red light's there, I'll follow it.
Well, that's the bad thing. Sometimes the red lights come on, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
It'll fool you. But I'll be switching over to that camera a little bit later on. Ladies and gentlemen, we're walking through the sausage making right here is what we're doing here on Big Talk. This is a beautiful Monday, September 30th. Terry's coming up there making time out of a frantic election battle. You're not really in all that frantic a battle.
Not this time. This is I don't have an opponent in November, and it's my first 4-year term. I'm not really sure how to act with a 4-year. I had always 2s before.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
You probably still have to go to you're still going to have to go to cafeterias.
Well, like I just had a senior fair. I do all the pancake breakfast because I don't know how to dial back. I really love what I do. So
that's beautiful.
As long as you're loving it, it's fun.
I just pulled her string and she started talking. I got to stop her so we can get to our normal stuff. You're watching Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. Terry's here, and we're going to talk about all kinds of fun stuff here in just a few minutes with Senator Bryant, and we're going to get into all that here on this gorgeous Monday, September 30th. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's tell you a little bit about what is going on in and around our area. I tell you what, for a Monday, September 30th, I had a heck of a time finding stuff to show you today, but I found a little bit. I found one thing. Up in Altamont, they are having a blood drive. This is at the high school, but it is open to the public. It's sponsored by the National Honor Society. It's going to be in the Altamont High School gym. It's going on right now. It started at 8:30. It's going to go till about 2 o'clock this afternoon. This is a Red Cross blood drive. It's not Impact Life. This is Red Cross, 2 different companies. Did you realize there were 2 different blood drive companies in the local in your in your bailiwick?
Yeah, I did kind of, because sometimes when I'm in the more southern area, they come out of Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Yeah, well, and then in the southeastern, it's out of Louisville.
Right.
And then up here, it's this Impact Life, which I guess provides blood to a lot of the hospitals in the area. Yeah. So as long as folks are getting the required blood, that's for sure. But again, it's at Altamont High School today. Go to redcrossblood.org, and you'll want to go on there and fill out your rapid pass stuff. Read all the materials. That'll run you through probably 10 or 15 minutes faster than you would otherwise. Plus, you need to make an appointment in there as well if you're just seeing this now. Again, it's redcrossblood.org. It's the Altamont High School National Honor Society. The kids doing some good stuff down there. Do you give blood? I hesitate to ask because some people can't. I can't anymore.
I do. I do give blood, but I had a nurse one time scolded me a little bit because I said, "Hey, be really careful because my veins roll." And she said, "Oh, that's not true. They just say that because they're not a good nurse or whatever." And then when she stuck me for the 4th time and couldn't find my vein, she called for somebody else to come over, and then that one's kind of a horror story.
You have had everything happen to you.
I have, and then when they finally did get me stuck, they actually didn't get it in good, so there was more blood on the floor than there was in the bag, and they informed me that they couldn't use it because it didn't get in there. But that's a horror story. So I've given like 10 times. That's only one time.
Don't listen
just
to her.
Just go and give blood, because one of these times you're going to be the one that needs it, and you're going to say, I wish I would have been the one that went and gave blood.
The reason I ask is because I can no longer donate. They've got me on blood thinners or what. I'm almost 60 years old.
Yeah.
So, at that age, they put you on all kinds of stuff.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. One time, I don't like to go give blood like anybody. I don't like to get stuck, but I do. I think it's a civic duty. But I'm going to tell you, I'm vain. I just just turned 61, but I'm not so vain that I don't talk about a few things about myself. Like my eyebrows,
Yeah.
I have that microblading done, so it's kind of
really?
it's you got like your real hair, but you also have like a tattoo.
Sure.
And I was hoping that because it was a tattoo,
Well, here,
I wouldn't be eligible.
Switch cameras so we can zoom in on
okay.
that.
Okay, so I was hoping well, you can see they look awesome. Right?
They look
awesome. But I was hoping because it was a tattoo, I wouldn't be able to give blood. So when I went the next time to volunteer like a good citizen, I said, I think I might be excluded because I got a tattoo, and that doesn't work anymore now. Anyway, so... Darn!
You ended up having. Well, the reason I bring the whole thing up is I've given 140 pints.
Oh my gosh!
And my initial goal was to give a pony keg of blood.
Oh wow!
And I blew past that.
Right.
And so then I wanted to get to a regular half barrel. I've blown past that, but now I'm
a little nervous that you know what a pony keg and half barrel are. But.
Oh, lady, I tell you, I can tell you stories on myself too. But yeah, that is today. Go to redcrossblood.org. You'll find out all kinds of stuff. What else going on today? Not much out in the community here on this Monday, but I do have, I will tell you, this is National Chewing Gum Day. National Chewing Gum Day exercises our jaws on September 30th. Pop a bubble or freshen your breath with your favorite piece of chewing gum. How long do you think humans have used chewing gum there, Senator?
I'm going to guess because everything, in these trivia stuff always goes back to the Egyptians.
That's pretty
Is
good
that,
thinking.
like, I don't know, maybe.
That's pretty good thinking.
I can tell you, though,
All right, I'll give you within 1,000 years. How many years are we? How many years do you think?
What, you want me to guess the year?
Oh, well, yeah, no.
All right.
How many years?
Well, so it's not the Egyptians, so I'm going to say 400.
Oh, no. 5,000.
Oh, see, it's
Phoenicians probably or something
yeah,
like
maybe.
that.
I don't know, but I know I can blow a bubble in a bubble in a bubble. How many people can
You're
do that?
kidding.
No, you got to have
the 3 bubbles?
You got to have 3 pieces of super bubble that you can do a bubble in a bubble in a bubble. And then your mom will smack you because when it busts, it's all over your face and everything else that's around.
Various forms of chewing gum have existed since the Neolithic period. In 2007, a British archaeology student discovered a 5,000-year-old piece of chewing gum made from bark tar with tooth imprints in it, presumed to be the oldest piece of chewing gum. The discovery was in Finland. Made from bark tar, scientists believe the gum to have antiseptic properties and other medicinal advantages.
My mom used to only give us, my sisters and I, in church, we would only get a half a piece of gum because she didn't want us to. I blow bubbles all the time or pop it. And not too long ago, I was at church with her. She lives outside of Atlanta. And I asked her before church started, could I have a piece of gum? And she gave me a half a piece again. And I said, Mom, I can handle a whole piece of gum. I can handle a whole piece of gum. And she said, no, you really can't. And didn't give me another half a piece. All I got was a half a piece of gum.
Well, I'm glad to hear she trusted you with that.
Yeah, no.
What else going on today, ladies and gentlemen? This is National. Well, maybe you can enjoy this one too. Maybe your mom will let you have some National Hot Mold Cider on September 30th. This warms our homes with the scent of cinnamon, nutmeg, and apple. Fall welcomes toasty mugs of mulled cider to wrap your chilled hands around. Such a cozy way to spend an evening sipping a tart, spiced beverage on a chilly evening while gazing at trees ablaze in crimson, gold, and orange. I'm not quite there yet, but this is a pleasant way to enjoy a good glass of hot mulled cider. What does that even mean, by the way? What is mulling? Does that just mean throwing it in a crock pot for a while?
I think mulled means that it has a lot of spices and stuff in it. Maybe it has a little wine. I don't know. I know if it says mulled cider, it's going to have a little bite to it, maybe.
Yeah, I didn't see anybody adding rum to it, but a lot of folks add the rum to it.
There's this really good not to do an ad because I don't know if maybe you should hit them up for an ad, but Bailey's has apple pie.
Really?
Bailey's that
I have never seen apple pie, but I'll drink a Bailey's with coffee at the end of the meal.
That's what I put it in. Sometimes put it a little bit in coffee.
But yeah, that's an
or tea if you like milk in your tea.
Sure.
It's good
There you go.
too.
There you go. You might like this next one as well. As you've enjoyed the first two. This is a good one. This is since you have fixed your face,
right?
Fixed your eyebrows.
I don't know if I fixed my face.
Well, you fixed your eyebrows. How about National Mud Pack Day? This gives folks permission to get muddy. Step in mud, play in the mud, put the mud on your face. Mud packs are mixtures of therapeutic clays. When applied to the skin, it increases circulation, eases muscle tension, releases toxins, and boosts immunity. My wife does this occasionally, and I have nothing to beef about it.
Well, if I can add to it again, since we're all getting to know me a little bit
That's
better.
right. That's exactly it. We're getting to know Terri Bryant.
I was in every kind of sport you could imagine, and like all athletes, I got a little bit of athlete's foot when I was in middle school, and my grandpa and grandma helped raise me, and so my grandpa had a cure for everything. He was
So he's throwing mud on your feet?
Well, it wasn't just mud. You just had to mix a little cow manure in with the mud, and then you cake it on your feet. And it really did. I don't know if it was the ammonia or what.
Well, do they let you in the house then?
You got to wash it off before you come in. But he made his own cough syrup out. You did like boil some sassafras root, throw a little cherry bark in there, and
love it.
And then I hate to say an alcohol item again, but a little shot of Jack in there.
Sure,
and that was good cough syrup. But I will tell you that his remedies almost always worked. And
as
so
long as they work.
It worked, but I'm not advocating it for anyone else, but it worked for me.
I don't blame you a bit. I'm going to switch over to that one now. What do you want to see on television today, ladies and gentlemen? High school baseball, we're shooting it this afternoon. The Wayne City Indians will be up here in Louisville taking on North Clay. That's at 4 o'clock now, not 4:30. And North Clay's moved the times down to 4 o'clock so they can get the games in before the sun goes down. Also, a doubleheader in the major leagues today. Big one. It is the Mets at the Braves here on this Monday. This is the makeup for last week's Hurricane Helene thing. They're going to play at 12:10. They're going to play again at 3:40, depending if necessary. NFL football doubleheader as well. 2 games on. Tennessee is at Miami on Channel 601, ESPN, and then also on ABC at 7:15. It is Seattle at Detroit. Who do you like in football?
I like the Cowboys, and in fact,
You're having at least a 2
yeah.
They won last night.
So I got to go to
13,
Super Bowl 13 I went to high school.
You're kidding.
No, it was awesome.
That was Craig Morton.
It was.
No, wait a minute.
No.
That was the Steelers.
Pittsburgh against the Cowboys.
Yeah,
and
that was not as awesome as it could have been for you.
Not
12
for me.
was the one I was thinking
So
of.
I'll tell you, at the time, my mom was dating a guy who had a bookie. And so I was I want to think I was about 14 years old, and I had a chance to place a bet through this.
You placed your first bet on Super Bowl 13.
Well, it wasn't my first, but it was. I did. It was my first on a Super Bowl.
Okay.
So I had $100 on the Cowboys, and the spread was 4 points.
35-31 final.
Yes.
So it was a push.
And it was a push. And so I remember when Jackie Smith dropped the ball in the end zone, I was sitting on the 20-yard line, 5th row, believe it or not, in the old Orange Bowl Stadium. So those guys would get up and they'd still have big chunks of sod hanging. That was good football.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I jumped up. I had a cowboy hat on. I was in the middle of the Pittsburgh Terrible Towel section, and I jumped up when Jackie Smith dropped that ball, and I yelled, "The fix is in!" And all these men sitting around me are like, "Sit down, little girl." And I'm like, "Listen, I just lost a lot of money on this." I was a different person back then than I am now.
I would have thought the first thing that you would have yelled when Jackie Smith dropped that ball, wouldn't you know it? The Cowboys pick up a Cardinal.
Well,
a Cardinal on their team loses the game.
Anybody who remembers Frank Watson, so Frank would have Jackie Smith come and sing "Oh Danny Boy" at every one of his political events. And I remember the first time I saw him, I was an adult, and I'm like, he stuck his hand out to shake my hand, and I of course I took his hand, but in my head I'm like, seriously? You cost me a lot of money. And then I couldn't even hardly stand to hear him sing, but he's really a nice guy.
I was a big Red fan.
As a little girl,
I had mixed feelings about that whole drop.
As a little girl, I was unusual. As a little girl, I liked football and hockey and baseball and all of that. I had mostly boy cousins.
Blues fan or what?
Yeah, I like the Blues.
Okay.
Yeah, but for Christmas one year, I asked for a football Cardinals uniform. Remember, they used to come.
Sure.
They come in a box with a helmet and a shoulder pad.
Yeah,
I got that for Christmas one year. I was the weirdest girl in my neighborhood, but the boys all loved me, which is really what I cared about anyway. So. Yeah.
We're gonna take Terri Bryant's here, folks. We're going to have a lot of fun. You're watching Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. We'll be back in a sec.
When you want an honest deal and hometown service without the runaround, go to Lamont Chevrolet Chrysler in Fairfield. Let Gabe McGahey, Sheldon Bunning, Jeff Black, Dennis Downs, Matthew Rogers, or Caleb Dunn score the best deal for you on your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Parts and service departments with factory-trained technicians and express lane and state-of-the-art tire and alignment technology. Lamont always inspects your battery, antifreeze, wipers, and tires for free. We want you prepared for the open road ahead. Open 24/7 at LeMansOnline.com. You'll like the way we do business.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
It is all things new at Zimdar's Heating, Air Conditioning, and Appliance Repair. We have a new line of heating and cooling equipment and new technicians. Our new equipment line offers 24 months free financing and excellent warranty coverage. Our experienced service technicians can provide you with quality service and repairs on all brands of HVAC equipment. Zimdar's has been serving Clay County and the surrounding areas for over 23 years. The employees of Zimdar's are here to help, so call local and call Zimdar's.
I didn't quite make it back, folks. Sorry about that.
I almost took over.
Yeah, well, if you knew how to run this,
I know.
It would have been the easiest thing to do. Folks, you're watching Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. I am so fired up. Terri Bryant is here. I've been trying to get Terri on the show now for 2 years.
Yeah.
Running in. You've got, by the way, you have outstanding assistants.
Oh, thank you. I think so too.
They do a very good job running interference for you.
Yeah, that's good. I tell them they're the gatekeepers. Nobody gets to me except going through them, and that's really not because I don't. I mean, I'm out always. I'm out and about. Yeah. But we do have some crazy people out, in the public these days, and quite often, the folks that have been with me, a lot of them have been with me for 10 years, and they're the ones that have really good contacts with state agencies, and they can get the job done really quickly. It really slows things down sometimes if people want to talk directly to me when it's an agency
better off
issue.
Just talking to somebody who's
That's right, because I'm going to point them back to that individual anyway.
Well, that makes a ton of sense. All right, let's go back. Let's talk about the youthful. By the way, how's your mother doing in the hurricane?
She's good. Yeah, so she's in Atlanta, and I also have a sister that's in the Atlanta area. I talked to both of them this morning.
Get heavy rain, right?
They got a lot of rain, and they were really concerned because they've had a lot of rain. It was supposed to be 60 to 70 mile an hour winds, and you know what happens? There's a lot of pine trees in Georgia, and when you get that much rain, those pine trees, the roots don't go very deep. So they were more concerned about the wind than they were the rain.
Fingers crossed there for your mother.
Yeah, I think they're doing well though.
Okay, good to hear. Okay, so you graduate high school and you basically get married immediately.
Yeah, I graduated.
Congratulations on your anniversary.
Thank you. It will be 43 years, October 3rd. So coming up here real quick. But I married a guy that I met when I was 12 years old. His sister was my best friend. My family was somewhat broken, so lived with my grandparents a lot of the time. My mother's a wonderful person, but she was young. She had me when she was 16. Sure. My sister when she was 18. Another sister just right after that, and so I met Rick when I was with my grandparents in Southern Illinois, and we went back and forth. I was going to high school in Florida, so back and forth every summer, every holiday. Got engaged really early, so I turned 18, graduated from high school and got married.
Yeah,
pretty much. He was my prom date. He came to Florida for my prom,
Wonderful.
And I came back here for a few things for him. And I love Southern Illinois, so I hunt and fish. I used to trap with my grandpa in Jackson County, so it was only natural that I would want to be back in Southern Illinois.
You started to raise a family.
Yeah, well, we started, this is something I even left out when I was talking to you about this, but we started our family in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Really?
When Rick and I first got married, it was 1981, and we were farming and raising hogs, and then everybody, if you're farming in 81, you had to work another job.
Yeah, and if you're raising hogs in the 80s, you're going to stop raising hogs
That's exactly
later on.
right. So we decided that, as young as we were even, that we were going to go to Tulsa where there was a big oil boom. Never worked in the oil fields, did not have anybody out there. We were just two kids, really on a big adventure. We lived there for 6 years, had our first baby there, and then we had the opportunity to come home. So when we had that opportunity, we came home, we paid off our farm debt, and we had a lot of it.
Well, I was going to say at that
21% interest.
Yeah, at that time it was a swing.
Yep.
It's a swing. Tell me about okay, so you raise a family for a while. When did you get into the restaurant business?
Our daughter was about 4 years old or so.
So did you
late
at that point were you working?
When we decided to open the restaurant, I was working for a franchise company, D-Joy's Incorporated. They owned about 5 Shoney's, a bunch of Hardee's, Applebee's, Captain D's, and I really felt like I could be a better boss than the bosses that I was working for. So my grandparents were retiring. They had a little bit of money. So they kind of footed the bill to build the restaurant, and then Rick and I had good, strong backs. So we did the work. We stayed at it for about 3 years, and then like a lot of times what happens is family it's not a good idea to be in business with family. And so we decided to kind of split that. I went back to work for Shoney's for a little while. My grandparents ended up selling the business out to a cousin. And then I went to work for the Department of Corrections for 20 years. Okay.
All right. So you're in Murphysboro. Mm-hmm. And doing the restaurant, if you recall, ladies and gentlemen, was the old Bluebell on the north side of town.
Ava Blacktop, yes. Very successful. It was a very successful business. I have no regrets about doing it. I just have regrets about going in business with my own family.
Is that just off of the Ava Blacktop? Is that just off of 51 and or?
It's off of 127 and Business 13.
Okay.
Mm-hmm, if you're familiar with Murphysboro, yeah.
How near Scratch? That's off the Ava Blacktop too, right?
Scratch Brewery?
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually we just bought 62 acres on that northwest corner where you turn in to go to Scratch Brewery.
Really?
That was so on one side of the Blacktop is my brother-in-law
Blacktop. It's like a little...
Yeah, it's like a little highway.
Farm road.
I'd like to... Well, the one Scratch is on, yes.
Yeah.
But the Ava Blacktop, the one side of the road belongs to my brother-in-law. The other side Rick and I bought because it was his mom and dad's farm, and they just passed. But I will tell you that was part of the land that we owned back in 81 when we first got married.
Really?
We bought that for $1,000 an acre and then couldn't keep it, so his mom and dad bought that from us. When we just rebought the same property for $7,200 an acre. And, I was pre-approved for the loan before we went, so we paid less than we were approved for, but I thought we'd get it for about $6,000. It's only a few miles from Kincaid Lake, but I swear, and I cannot make this up, we got into a bidding war with the Yoders, an Amish family that also wanted it. Wonderful people, but as soon as I saw that it was an Amish family that wanted it, I was like, we're never going to get that land. So we bid it up, and then finally we actually.
The reason I bring up Scratch, brought up Scratch is because I mean it's speaking of new businesses out of the blue. That is a new. Do they forage on your farm? Because they are a foraging brewer.
Well, I've never seen them out there. There's a good place for them to do it. But yeah, the beers that they create are beers from
fancy.
All kinds of stuff that they find really around their business.
I'm sorry to wildly change the subject.
No, it's okay.
The whole farming background is intriguing to me. I'm assuming whenever you're, that must be a tremendous boon to you as a state senator.
It is. I've had a lot of wonderful and kind of scary experiences. I told you my grandparents helped to raise us. A lot of people don't know, but my mother was an abused woman. So as a child, we grew up with a lot of domestic violence around us with the stepfather that I had. So ultimately, when I was 9 years old, my mother shot and killed my stepfather.
Oh my heavens!
To save my life.
Wow.
And so, as a legislator, not only do I have the experience of having been raised partly by grandparents, my grandparents also kept foster children. In addition to us, we were taught to really have a good work ethic, taught what it was like for a single mom to raise children. I had the experience of getting to go to high school in a really urban area, but my background is very rural, so there's so much that I'm able to bring to the job. Yeah, I mean, I can hunt and fish. I can trap. In fact, I have a lot of experience as I talk to with the folks that do fur trading and so forth, and I really have an understanding right now. We just had a deal where we were talking about all the crop damage from deer, and we had so many people there, and we were talking so much about the crop damage from deer. We didn't even really get into raccoon damage, and a lot of that is because people don't trap anymore. There's no, like when I was a kid, we could get $40 for a raccoon pelt.
Now there are places
$5 maybe.
Yeah. You see raccoons on the highway.
Well, raccoons, and honestly, when you go farther south, it's more armadillos, and I don't think you can skin an armadillo.
No, that's a little difficult. Let's take a quick break. We're talking here with Terri Bryant about a wide variety of subjects. The senator and I will be back right after these words.
When you want an honest deal and hometown service without the runaround, go to Lamont Chevrolet Chrysler in Fairfield. Let Gabe McGahey, Sheldon Bunning, Jeff Black, Dennis Downs, Matthew Rogers, or Caleb Dunn score the best deal for you on your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Parts and service departments with factory-trained technicians and express lane and state-of-the-art tire and alignment technology. Lamont always inspects your battery, antifreeze, wipers, and tires for free. We want you prepared for the open road ahead. Open 24/7 at LeMansOnline.com. You'll like the way we do business.
Residents of the Clay County and surrounding area have relied on Clay County State Bank for sound professional service for over 100 years. With convenient lobby and drive-up hours, we are ready to serve you Monday through Saturday. We appreciate all who bank with us, and we look forward to the opportunity of working with anyone who is looking for a community bank to help with their financial needs. Give us a call at 665-3314, visit us online, or stop by and see us on the square in Louisville to experience our friendly personal service.
For service beyond the surface, call Carter Trucking in Fairfield. Carter's trucks are ready to haul your big freight and grain. So whatever you call Jeremy Carter, the Mucho Mulcho Man, the driveway doctor, the gravel guru, the pothole pirate, the rockin' redneck, the smooth operator, the mudhole master, or the happy hauler, just call him. 842-2022 to haul your big freight, grain, and more with trucks from Carter Trucking, Williamson Drive in Fairfield.
Having car trouble, need a tow, or just some routine maintenance? Butcher Automotive in Louisville has you covered. Locally owned and operated, Butcher Automotive offers complete vehicle repair services along with tire sales and wheel alignment. They're your local Hankook tire and interstate battery dealer. Butcher Automotive offers free local pickup and delivery so your car can be repaired while you're at work or at home. Butcher strives to treat everyone's vehicle as their own. At Butcher Automotive, they don't want you to give them your business, they want to earn it. lot. Hello, folks. Welcome back. Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. I am joined by State Senator Terri Bryant. Before I forget, if folks want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to get a hold of your office anyway?
Yeah, I would say the best way to get a hold of me is through the Murphysboro office, and that's 618-684-1100. I also have an office in Mount Vernon.
And your staff gets Facebook messages and takes looks at all that stuff.
Yeah, well, I manage my own social media, so if you private message me through Facebook, I have 3 different sites. There's Senator Terri Bryant, that's the government page, and I have Terri Bryant, which is my campaign site, and then Terri Courtney Bryant, which is my maiden name. That's my personal site, but you can message me through any of them.
One of the reasons I bring that up is because you're the 58th district of Illinois. It isn't small, is it?
No, it's all or parts of 14 counties, and it's you can see that it's Indiana to Missouri, and then something kind of funny since where we're sitting today. When I first
I told you, hey, you're not in the district.
That's right. When I was first elected to this Senate seat, or to this map, someone on the Mount Carmel side.
So that was on this map.
That's the old map.
Right. That's the old one.
And on that map, you can see I went all the way down to the Alexander Union County line.
Right. Okay.
And it was a little bit tricky to get around, but that was only 8 counties. When I was in the House, I had 5 counties. Now I have all or parts of 14. So I'm going from Indiana to Missouri. And I had someone who said, in Mount Carmel, they said, well, what do you know about living on a river? And I said, well, I live 5 miles from the Mississippi, and I live a half a mile from the Big Muddy. And they said, oh, not the same. And I thought that was ridiculous. But then now that I'm really starting to understand the Little Wabash, the Wabash, and the Ohio, they are very different than being over on, say, the Kaskaskia.
It's a different floodplain.
It's a different floodplain, and I can have, even when I was campaigning, I could have one morning where I might say, hey, we're planning to walk in Mount Carmel today, and then I figure out, well, it's raining 4 inches in Mount Carmel, let's go to Valmeyer over on the Mississippi or the Missouri side, it could have really good...
That'd be over there by Oakville or something
it's actually, it's right on the Mississippi, so it would be, where you're looking at Sparta, it's left of Sparta there.
Sure.
So
Sure.
And it's not very diverse when it comes to race or religion, but it is diverse in really mindset. So So when you get a little closer to the I don't represent Carbondale anymore. I used to.
Right.
So sometimes when people look at my vote, I'm a very conservative Republican.
Where it was. Carbondale was in that.
And I live 6 miles from Carbondale.
Okay.
When I had Carbondale in the district, I'm a big believer in representative government.
Right.
Keeping it as close to home as possible.
Sure.
As long as it doesn't violate my faith.
Sure.
Because I'm an evangelical Christian. That's the most important thing to me in my life.
Okay.
But there have been a lot of bills that come up that they were Carbondale-centric, and that was kind of the population when I was in the House and in that early Senate district. That was the population hub. So sometimes when you look at my old voting record, it's going to look a little bit less conservative than I am. But now, I have a district now that is 78% Republican, and even if they don't call themselves Republican, it's very conservative, and it matches me a little bit better than the previous districts that I've had.
That was not the intent.
No, I believe the intent was basically to protect the Metro East Senator, Chris Belt. Chris, when they redrew Chris Belt's district, they cut into, I used to have a piece of Cahokia. So I had Cahokia, Sauget, Dupo, and they took all of those and gave that to Chris Belt. Well, then that was a big population area.
Right.
And what it caused then is, when they took Carbondale away from me and gave it to Senator Fowler, that pushed me way up north. So now, of course, I'm up in the Wabash and Edwards County areas.
I've always been fascinated talking to politicians. Mm-hmm. Whenever I've talked to politicians, people think, the old saw is that all politicians are jerks, they're lazy, they just sit up there and do nothing politicians. You guys work pretty hard, don't you?
Well, when you have a district that's 4,700 square miles, I'll tell you, I drive 1,000 miles a week.
Right.
And anybody could ever check my odometer if you want to know. And I am hands-on. So I retired from the Department of Corrections after I was elected in 2014. So right before I was sworn in, I officially retired. And that allows me to do the job full-time. If you have a district that's in the Chicago area, maybe you have 14 blocks. In 14 counties, if you really want to do the job and do it right, you've got to be out and about. So
you got to see people.
Right. So the last 2 Saturdays, I've had 2 parades on each of those Saturdays. Some politicians never do parades. I believe really strongly in them because people are relaxed. They'll talk to you. I hang out a lot of times, have a hamburger after, a fish sandwich or something, and talk to people, talk to them before it starts. They're very relaxed, and they'll talk to you about things that they're never going to come to the office for. And, most of the time, no one's going to call their elected official until they
got a problem.
They have, well, and they've run out of options. They're like, you're the last person they want to talk to. But I want people to feel with me like I'm the first person they want to talk to, the person that they like to come in and have coffee with. So you have to work to get that relationship.
That makes a ton of sense. Tell you what, let's see. We're going to take another quick break. We're going to come back, talk a little bit more about. I'm fascinated in what you in your discussions with people.
Sure.
Especially with the 2 different mindsets of the different sides of the state. That's fascinating to me. You're watching Big Talk. Back right after this. Stick around.
When Justin, a local volunteer firefighter, needs one of the department's trucks serviced, he calls Cam, whose repair company keeps everything rolling. In turn, Justin helps keep Cam and all of the community safe. Together, they support each other. And Wayne White Electric Cooperative supports them and every member with safe and reliable power. It's why REMCs exist. And together, it all works.
Residents of the Clay County and surrounding area have relied on Clay County State Bank for sound professional service for over 100 years. With convenient lobby and drive-up hours, we are ready to serve you Monday through Saturday. We appreciate all who bank with us, and we look forward to the opportunity of working with anyone who is looking for a community bank to help with their financial needs. Give us a call at 665-3314, visit us online, or stop by and see us on the square in Louisville to experience our friendly personal service.
When you want an honest deal and hometown service without the runaround, go to Lamont Chevrolet Chrysler in Fairfield. Let Gabe McGahey, Sheldon Bunning, Jeff Black, Dennis Downs, Matthew Rogers, or Caleb Dunn score the best deal for you on your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Parts and service departments with factory-trained technicians and express lane and state-of-the-art tire and alignment technology. Lamont always inspects your battery, antifreeze, wipers, and tires for free. We want you prepared for the open road ahead. Open 24/7 at LeMansOnline.com. You'll like the way we do business.
I thought I'd lost my business in that fire, but my agent was there before the flames were out. He said, together, we're going to rebuild. Our employees depended on it. My independent agent and auto owners made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there. Auto Owners Insurance. North Wayne Insurance Agency in Flora is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Hello, folks. Welcome back. Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. I am joined by State Senator Terri Bryant, a Republican from the 58th District in Southern Illinois. And we're having an interesting conversation, getting to know Terri, because a lot of folks in this area, now granted, we're in Clay County. You don't currently represent Clay County.
Probably next map.
Yeah, I was going to say,
as far as they're pushing me up north,
you might be in Marion County.
You never know.
You might be all over the place.
right.
Who knows? But we do have customers and residents in certainly Wayne, Jefferson, and Edwards County, as well as Wabash, part of your groups. Tell me, I've got two things. The first thing, tell me about how you got into corrections.
Actually, I had taken a year off work. I left Shoney's for a year to have a baby.
Right.
And had our son, who's now 31, and at the time I wanted to stay home for as long as I could with him, and I just couldn't anymore. I needed to find a job. So a friend of mine was working at a work release center, so Illinois Department of Corrections, but really what we would refer to as kiddie camp, and they needed a food supervisor. So I had years of experience in food service, so I applied, got hired, so I started at an entry level at a facility that had 60 inmates.
Wow.
And then ended up retiring 20 years later at Pinckneyville Correctional Center, which had 20, at that time I think had about 2,400, and also was over the DuQuoin Boot Camp and the Murphysboro reentry facility. I managed the dietary department at Centralia Correctional Center for a while. And then I was an auditor I've been to every institution in the state. A lot of times they'd send me in to troubleshoot. I'm a curmudgeon when it comes to money, so I had to look that word up. In fact, when the warden at Menard called me a curmudgeon, and I didn't know if I was insulted or if it was a compliment, so I looked it up when I got home, and then I was thinking,
You think I am a curmudgeon?
I am a curmudgeon, and I kind of carry that, well. So they'd send me in to figure out if we could cut money here or there without cutting staff, and all, and I'm good at it.
So you retired from that?
Yeah.
Were you into politics before that? At what point did the fire start burning? Because, it takes a certain amount of work.
Yeah.
I was talking earlier how much work it is to be a politician. It takes a lot of ambition to get to a state level office, I would think.
So
when did the fire start burning that you wanted to help
I don't remember there not being a fire there. In fact, jokingly, but it's true, I remember my grandma coming in one time. I couldn't have been more than 5, probably a little bit less than 5, because of the house that we were living in. So I remember she came in and asked me what I was doing, and I asked her to be quiet because the president was speaking, and it was Walter Cronkite and President Johnson. And so I was probably 4 or 5 years old. And I really loved it all through high school, but because I got married so young, I really and I always believed that God led Rick and I together. We've had a wonderful life together, and we've had some wonderful experiences. We've tried always to honor God in everything that we do, and I just thought, well, that's just not the path God was taking me down.
Sure.
But I became a precinct committeeman. That fit in really well.
And precinct committeeman, for the most part, makes certain people get to the polls.
That's right. It's the grassrootest of the grassroots. It's
You're
the
deepest into the roots you can be.
It's the rootiest of the grassroots. And, again, for Jackson County, I was the central committee, so that's the ruling Republican Party for Jackson County. I was a secretary, and then I was a vice chair. And in that time, there was what got me really fired up was Jackson County was trying to pass a new safety tax to enlarge their jail. And I believed it was a boondoggle because, at the time I was in the Department of Corrections, they wanted to increase the jail because there's a couple things that people won't kick up as much dust about when you increase their taxes.
Is one
public
building
safety,
a jail.
Public safety, education, infrastructure. They'll be mad, but they won't kick up as much dust. So they then county board for Jackson County was going to add a 1-cent sales tax on to increase the jail. And as I did a little research, it was because they couldn't raise taxes any other way, and they spend so irresponsibly and still do. If they enlarged the jail, they could have more federal inmates. Federal inmates, when they pay for them, that money goes into the general coffers.
Yeah, a different level, too.
Yes, so by a roundabout way, they were going to put more money into the general fund, but it was a boondoggle. So I ran on that, knowing that it was upside down, 2,000 Democrats to 1,000 Republicans in that district.
In that district.
Yeah, in that district.
Of the Jackson County.
But I only lost by 200 votes, and the safety that safety tax failed. Had I not run, and that's, I think that's what people need to know, is sometimes when you run, it isn't whether you win or lose that election. Of course you want to win, but I won the issue that I ran for.
You're bringing the issue up,
that's right,
to folks' attention,
yes,
that they needed to know about.
That's right.
Okay, so how long ago was that?
I think I ran the first time maybe in 2010, and I ran 4 times for county board. So you could run every 2 years, because they have, in Jackson, they have two seats. Lost. I lost a township trustee race, so I lost 5 times.
Why in the world would you keep going?
Well,
if you keep losing,
because I didn't want the other side to get a free pass. I didn't want them to get to continue to run and never have to talk about the issues, and really never. When you're running, then someone has to say where they stand on something when
right.
they have an opponent,
right.
and then you can hold their feet to the fire on that. When I decided that I wanted to run for higher office, state representative, state senator, I'd been with the Bible study group, a women's group, and we came across the passage that says that I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, but you don't get because you don't ask. When you ask with wrong motives.
Right.
And so I actually prayed, and I said, Lord, the desire of my heart has always been and continues to be to serve in the legislature. I was doing the other things not as a stepping stone, but because I thought, they had issues that mattered, right?
Yeah.
And at the time, I was, deep into my career in corrections. It wasn't a good time to run for a higher office. And then in my prayer, I said, I will do my part in this if you'll give me this. And if it's not your will, I don't want to do it. But if it is, I'll do my part. And so I went to a bunch of campaign schools and learned how to be a good candidate.
I was going to say, you can't just ask. You can't just ask the Lord to do that. You've got to do the work for it too. He's kind of pushing you that way.
Yeah, there are some things that God gifts you, and that's a blessing. There are other things where God is going to gift you, but He also expects you to learn how to do it right. It's not a magic lamp when you pray. You don't rub a magic lamp.
Tell me a little bit about. Now, you were well known in Jackson County when you began running for state representative. You had this is a large segment of a large area. How quickly did people get to know you in the rest of the area?
Well, I went originally. Jefferson County was going to be the largest county with the largest voting block. Right. So I went to the then Republican chairman of Jefferson County, and I knew that Richard wanted somebody from Jefferson. And it started out in that first House race. There were going to be 12 people that ran, and I remember when I went to Mike Bost, he called me and told me he wasn't going to run for re-election, and he knew that I wanted to run for the seat. There were 12 people that were going to run, and I said, gosh, there's a lot of people who want to run for state representative. He said, no, there's a lot of people who want to be state representative. There's not a lot of people who want to run. So by the time the primary rolled down, there were only 2 of us, and the other guy was from Jefferson County. So I went to the Jefferson County Republican chairman, and I said, Richard, I know you don't know me that well, but if you will trust me to work for you, I promise you'll think I live in Jefferson County before this is over. And that's how I've tried to do even here, now that this district is so large. We just did a senior fair in Mount Carmel. I don't think another legislator has ever done one in Mount Carmel. So I have 3. I do one in Redbud, one in Mount Vernon, and one in Mount Carmel.
Redbud from Mount Carmel is
it's crazy.
2.5 out of 3 hours.
Well, I can do it in 2.5. I got those nice little plates that let me drive
you got those license plates.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to, but I'll admit it. Confession time.
Right here. We're stopping it right there. We're going to come back. Yeah. We got Terri Bryant on. We're going to wrap things up. You were right. The hour's flying by. You're watching Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. We'll be back right after this. Stick around.
Fashion is our passion at Carnaby Square. We specialize in customer service and have since 1980. Our multi-generational boutique features your favorite on-trend to classic Famous Maker fashions, footwear, accessories, and a massive inventory of Brighton. So come, relax, explore, and elevate your look with us. Everyone is welcome, where we always wrap it, tag it, and bag it for free at Carnaby Square in downtown Fairfield.
Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
When you want an honest deal and hometown service without the runaround, go to Lamont Chevrolet Chrysler in Fairfield. Let Gabe McGahey, Sheldon Bunning, Jeff Black, Dennis Downs, Matthew Rogers, or Caleb Dunn score the best deal for you on your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Parts and service departments with factory-trained technicians and express lane and state-of-the-art tire and alignment technology. Lamont always inspects your battery, antifreeze, wipers, and tires for free. We want you prepared for the open road ahead. Open 24/7 at LeMansOnline.com. You'll like the way we do business.
There we go. Hello, folks. Welcome back. Big Talk with Bruce Dickey. I'm joined today by State Senator Terri Bryant, and we are having a lot of fun. I said it was a getting to know her type of thing. We're only through about 2001. I mentioned, and we've talked a little bit about the fact that folks, you go see a lot of people. I've got some pictures of you going. This is you last month or early this month, I think.
Yeah.
Who's that? That's
the mayor of Jeff.
Yeah, that's at the big Frontier Days
yes,
parade.
Yeah, that's a very small little parade, but it was really fun.
You know, that's the thing. I didn't know you were there. I saw the truck there.
Yeah.
I saw the truck there. How often does the truck go get in a parade that you don't?
Not very often. The only time the truck will be there, like last year we had, last fall we had one. I took a trip to Europe with Southern Illinois University. I'm the minority spokesperson for energy. And we took a trip to look at, it's called solar voltaics. So solar in conjunction with agriculture.
Okay.
And so I took that trip and had the crew go to make sure we could still do the parade. But I think it's 52 parades a year. So try to be in every community.
This looked really cool. Where is the bocce tournament?
That was at Williamson County, and standing next on the other side of his wife, who's to my immediate left there, is Representative Jacobs, and then behind me is Dave Severin. This was a bocce tournament for Center Stone. They take care of developmentally disabled individuals, intellectually disabled. I'm the minority spokesperson also for behavioral and mental health, and so that was that was in Heron, by the way.
You must have a ton of fun at that kind of event.
Oh.
Because you basically get the chance to see what you're doing is helping.
Yeah, and I've done a lot of stuff with Special Olympics. He's passed now, but I had a stepbrother who had Downs, and so I have a deep love for that community. And I did represent loosely Choate Mental Health down in Anna. I have Chester Mental Health in the district. I just love the folks at Murray Center, and it's just in Jefferson County there's tons of Scylla homes. It really is, and so getting to go do those that's really what I love about the job. It's legislating. We're in Springfield maybe 50 days out of the whole year. Right. The rest of the time is doing doing. That last picture.
This is at Albion.
That was Albion. I did 12 town halls. This year, we don't call them town halls anymore because if you call them a town hall, crazy people turn out that just want to protest.
That is fascinating to me, but that is kind of the way it is.
It is. So we call them, sometimes it'll be coffee and conversations. I had one at a brewery that was conversations and libations. Nice. We've had small town tour this last time. 12 different
how's the response typically? Do you get big crowds at your small town?
In Redbud, it was at a brewery, and there was like 40 people there for that one. Yeah. For Albion, you see the crowd that was there. There might be 10 or 12 people, but they tend to be the folks that are most engaged in their community.
That's the thing. When Mike Boss talked in Fairfield, there were like 10 or 15 people there, and let's tell me about where are we here? Oh, that's you want
that was in Franklin County. Yeah, that's a young lady that came down from Springfield to help us out. So that was in Benton.
Okay, that's a gorgeous area there.
That's at Cafe Bloom.
Okay.
That's a wonderful place to have anything.
I bet you have the liver chicken circuit is what folks talked about.
That is the barge trip. So when folks talk about knowing anything about the water, that's my husband Rick right across from me. Okay. And there's a barge trip that's done by the Lower Kaskaskia Port District each year, and that is actually on a barge as we're going through the Locken Dam
for
the Kaskaskia River. And it's a really cool event. When we get off the barge, it's dark, and they have a band there, and there's a lot of fun in the evening. You can see that my color is lime green, so we've tried to brand that color for Terri Bryant. So if you see that color anywhere, it's either going to be Regions Bank or me. So,
how big a crowd was on this
oh my
barge?
Goodness, there's probably, I don't know, maybe 300-400 people, and you get fried chicken, and then they always have ice cream toward the end, and all kinds of fun stuff. There's a lot of really cool things.
Plus you get to learn a little bit more about the infrastructure of the state of Illinois.
Well, yeah, and let me tell you a little bit about the Kaskaskia Port District, because it's really important. That is I believe it's the 12th busiest inland port in the United States.
You're kidding me.
And for instance, at one time they were doing about 4 million tons a year through those. There's I think 5 terminals, and then after coal started to kind of shut down, it went down to about 400,000 tons, from 4 million to 400,000. But they have really thought outside the box. They do gypsum now.
I was going to say, have they been able to convert to grain or anything like that?
And then, they do grain, they do gypsum, they do fly ash, and all of those are really important for drywall and for asphalt.
Oh, absolutely.
And so they will
they'll
be back up over 4 million tons this year, and they're anticipating going up to about 8 million, I think, if they get another contract. There's another contract for a company we hope is going to move into that area that does the thinnest like stainless steel. It's that sheet metal. So if you see a semi going down the road, it's got just one big giant roll of sheet metal on it. Those are like 20 tons. So I've looked at them in the past before I realized this and thought, why are they using that whole semi? You can only have one on there, and those are coming Those are coming from Redbud Industries. So there's some roads you can have 2 of them on there. Most of the time it's just one, but there's a new company that actually makes that sheet metal even thinner than what you would get at Redbud Industries.
How often are businesses contacting your office, or are you contacting businesses to try to help your district to get the?
Most often it will be an economic development organization or a mayor who calls and says, "Can you help us? We're courting this business. Can you find us? Maybe it'll be a TIF district, or maybe it'll be some funding for roads and bridges." I mean, I take a lot of heat because I want to be really transparent with folks. I take a lot of heat. I did vote for the motor fuel tax.
Sure.
And it's painful a lot of times. But the unfortunate thing for Illinois is that's how we fund our roads and bridges. So
you can't have the bridges breaking down. You can't have the roads.
That's right. And prior to that vote, 75% of all the bridges in Illinois had to be replaced, not just fixed, within the next 10 years. So when you get someone who's calling and saying, we have a business who wants to go in, but you have roads to repair. There was zero money for roads in Illinois. And then, of course, we were looking at a federal infrastructure bill. Illinois would have gotten $0 because it's matching.
Matches. Yeah,
it's
it
matching,
matches.
and we had no match money for Illinois. So I'm hoping that we get a president who actually brings inflation down after the next election.
I have one more I was going to show.
Okay.
One more, and this
Sure.
one you might like best.
Oh, I do like that one. Yeah. All right.
Tell me about the fall fling.
So it's we're going to be.
I got you up here. I figured I better
Right?
at least.
I appreciate
I better
that.
at least help you out.
Well, thank you. October 13th. We appreciate. We wanted to make it late enough that folks can come from church and stick around. They're going to put out a beautiful spread for us, and we'll talk a little bit of politics while we're there. The Randolph County Republicans are hosting it for me, and I really appreciate that. It's a wonderful time of the year to take a drive through Southern Illinois.
It'll be gorgeous.
So it has a Percy.
Where is Percy?
Percy is just a little bit east of Sparta.
Okay.
So if you're familiar with where Sparta is, it's just off Route 4. It's an
North
easy
of
drive.
Chester.
Yeah, some people will, they still know it as Scuttle Inn. There's a great golf course there that used to be a coal mine there, and after the coal mine left and the Reclamation Act kicked in, they reclaimed that land, and it's a beautiful golf course.
Terry, we've run out of time.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'll have to come back.
Thank you so much
Yeah,
for being
no
here.
problem. I got to talk. Next time I come back, remind me to talk about the Chinese balloon.
We will talk. Oh, I can't wait to hear the story.
Yeah, okay.
We'll do that next time. Have a great
All
day,
right,
ladies and
thank you.
gentlemen.
Thanks
See you
for
later.
having me.